And there's just something pretty about looking at the snow over even the area, the trees that I'd cut down and the stumps and everything sticking up. Just a fresh coating of snow on there. Just makes everything beautiful again. Just got home from work, so that's why the kilt's not on yet. Morning temperature this morning when I came in was single digits, so it was 6 degrees above zero. And we hit a high temperature today of about 21 degrees when I got home, and I don't think it's going to get much warmer than that. I did have the heater run out of propane, but apparently it happened not long ago because the temperature inside the trailer is 42. So I've got the new bottle of propane on there getting that thing warmed up. But I wanted to jump on here real quick to tell you that I get a lot of people that ask how they can support the channel on a regular basis. And besides viewing the videos and leaving comments and sharing the videos with folks that you think might be interested in those videos as well, I get a lot of people asking how they could actually support the channel. And so what I did this year was I took a cue from another Alaska YouTube channel that's pretty big. They're about to hit 500,000 subscribers, and every year they post a calendar of pictures that they've taken in Alaska. So I went ahead and created that calendar. The link will be down below, and it's basically some of my favorite pictures that I've ever taken since I've been up here and started this whole YouTube project. Going forward, I'm going to just specifically take pictures every month, and then I'm going to pick the best pictures out of, or what I think are the best pictures out of that month, and I'm going to go ahead and share them with you guys in a calendar every year going forward as well. So the link for that website is down below. The website makes more on the calendar than I do. They're $20 each, and I make $6.75 if you decide to buy one. I'm going to take all of that money and shove it into an envelope, and we're going to use that for probably something special. A nice little special present for the cabin here this next year. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Sean in Alaska. The chickens are doing fantastic in the zero or the single digit temperatures, but they're a little angry at me because I need to get them some water and I need to get some more straw thrown up into their coop as well. But they're doing great. So I'm going to get busy on that, and I've got a tri-tip I think I'm going to do for dinner tonight. So enjoy. Ladies, what are you doing? Hello, girls. Hi, girls. Careful. Careful with. Well, hello. Hello. This morning the temperature on the chickens, well, when I drove into town was single digits, 9 degrees. we've hit the high temperature of the day here right now. It looks like it's going to be about 19, and they're fine. I'm not noticing anything different on them at all, other than the fact that they get a little angry when their water's frozen. But I make sure I keep watering them on a regular basis. I found that when I just take the straw and just toss it in there, they're going to push it wherever they want it to be, and they'll straighten it out themselves. What I just climbed up there and installed was a temperature gauge that I usually had for outside over here, and I'm going to have to pick another one up because I want to start tracking the inside temperature of the coop. I'm going to actually start closing them in at night now. I haven't been doing that. I've just been leaving the door open. So I'm going to close them in at night and then let them out when I come home. It's about 1:30 in the afternoon, and it's, you know, easily 19, 20 degrees Fahrenheit. And like I said, they're running around out there. But I got to make sure I have them all in and I had no wanderers. So I'm going to show you the trick that I use for that. And for whatever reason, this nesting box right here just was full of poop. And I don't know why, because they keep laying eggs in it, but whichever chicken's doing that is pooping in there too. So that's why I pulled all that out and cleaned it all out. So that's good to go. I've got a bale of straw I'm picking up later on this week, because I still have probably a quarter of a bale underneath there. I'm going to keep that out here, and I'm going to spread the straw in there out as bedding for them, because they've gotten to the point now where they come out, they don't want to wander around in the snow. They can actually wander around underneath there and hang out there, and on the cross pieces they're using them for roosts. Chicken crack. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know if there's a knife one up in here. There's no knife one. 7, 8. One of them got away and I don't know where it went. Might be under my truck. I'll give these guys a treat because they've been so good. Hey, here you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go find your sister. Where's your sister at? Where's your sister at? Huh? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, little girl. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Got her. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go inside. Get. Thank you. Okay, now you all get a treat because of old number 9 there taking her time. Ready? Ready? Go for it. Here you go. Thank you, ladies. Mealworms, they come back for these every time. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, let's see if I have any made up or if I have to make up some more. This chicken seasoning. That is tri-tip rub. Big old chunk of tri-tip. Oof, that's warm. All right. So the way I've always done this is I try and put the heaviest part closest to the fire, and at the same time fat side up. Just do that. Then I'm going to leave the vent open just a crack so that the heat has to come across the top of the meat and underneath the meat, obviously, to escape out of the vent up here on the top. All right, dinner started. One of the things in Alaska, there it just came on, about how I live. So living in a trailer is not the ideal or even remotely intelligent plan to make. I did not intend on being in the trailer that long, but as part of that, it really really plays havoc with batteries. So I'm constantly charging batteries, and I'm charging up. I just fired up the generator now because I have to charge up the Canon camera battery. So I'll show you where my basic charging station is for what I'm doing here too. So USB ports, I'll charge up all my charging bricks that I use on a regular basis, and then the Canon battery won't charge via USB. It'll only charge via 110, 120 outlet. But the other two spare batteries I have, I can charge via the USB ports on here. Normally what I'll also do is I'll run the battery charger whenever I'm charging, the main battery charger that runs all the lights and everything in here, when I'm firing up the generator. But I did that yesterday, and I actually took it to an absolute full state of charge, and I haven't used that much power on it, so I'm not going to bother plugging that in right now. I'm going to see what the solar panels do, or what the solar panel does. It is not a successful operation, solar panels up here in Alaska, or at least the one panel that I have cannot generate anywhere near enough power. Part of that is because of placement, and it's not high enough to get the full sun because of all the trees that I have right now, but I'm working on that as well. It's first time I've ever played with solar, so it's kind of an experiment, but at the same time, it's kind of a really cool thing to have. So I told you that the heater went out from the propane, and I just used the regular 5-pound propane bottles, or 5-gallon propane bottles, basically, to operate the buddy heater that I have. And this time of year, I use a smaller buddy heater, but I will upgrade that as the sub-zero temperatures hit to a larger buddy heater that I have, because the small one just can't keep up. And at that time, I like to put the small one down towards the floor when I've got a small bottle, just to go ahead and warm up the floor and warm up my feet a bit, because the floor in this place just gets ridiculously cold during the winter. But this is the heater that I'm using now, and right now I've got this on high, and it puts out a ton of heat. I mean, it's really, you can really feel the warmth coming off of there. So as we look over here on the temperature gauge, it's 61 degrees inside, 28% humidity and 21 degrees in the chicken coop right now. But like I said, that temperature should go up when the birds are in there. I'm going to check that tonight or in the morning when I get ready to go to work and see what that temperature is. This weather station will work without electricity, but the light will only come on if you push the button there, and it's battery operated. Also, I have, as far as batteries go, I have this Energizer, these Energizer rechargeables. And so when one set of batteries starts to go, I plug that in as well. There we go. And those batteries need to be charged. But lithium ion, I'm telling you, lithium and the cold do not get along together at all. So we'll let those charge up while I'm running the generator to charge everything else up too. So another way that I combat the cold here in Alaska in a trailer is I try to cover up any possible area where cold can seep in. These fifth wheel trailers are not designed for subarctic temperatures, which is what I have here in the winter when I get seriously below zero and can stay there for a couple of weeks. So I have extra carpets laying on top of the floor, throw rugs on top of the floor to try and take some of that cold away. I hang blankets over the door, and I hang blankets over all of the windows that are in here, so that I can have that little insulation air barrier between outside and inside, and it really makes a difference. It's surprising how much of a difference it makes. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that probably today and tomorrow. You don't really need to watch me hang blankets here on a window, but I'll show you what it looks like when it's done, because you'd be surprised how well it works. The door one was a little tricky though, because I hang it from the very top of the door to the very bottom of the door, and I need to be careful because there's times when I've gone out the door and not watched my footing and caught my foot in the blanket and just did a header right out the door. The nice thing is, usually when that happens, we've got a foot or two of snow out there, so while it's a cold landing, it's a soft landing, generally speaking. I power all the lighting in here off of this one Deep Cycle Marine battery, 12-volt battery, and that is the only thing that I use to power my lights that are inside of here. Everything else is powered by the generator, so when I actually want to do video editing, or even just charge this battery up and veg out and play a video game, I have to fire the generator up for that. I do have a 400-watt full sine wave power inverter, and you do not want a modified sine wave inverter. You want a full sine wave inverter for electronics, or you'll blow them out. But I don't really use this inverter as much as I thought I was going to, because the amount of watts that are required to run the electronics that I have will drain this battery much quicker than I want it to. I also have a nice little Logitech surround sound speaker system. So I've got the subwoofer, the center, the two fronts. Behind that speaker I've got another one. Or behind that picture I've got another one, and then behind the picture over here I've got another speaker as well. And so I can basically, for a guy who lives off-grid in Alaska, watch movies in surround sound, which is very, very cool. A lot of times though, I'm not going to fire this up, and if I'm not going to fire this up, then via Wi-Fi I use this speaker. This is, put down here on the light where you can see it, this is a JBL portable speaker. It's a Wi-Fi speaker, and it has a USB port right here, so you can charge it. So generally speaking, I can charge this off of my power bricks, or I can charge this off of the wall outlet over there where I have the USB port plugged in. When the power is on in here, generally speaking, or when I'm charging in here, generally speaking, my cell phone is laying on the charging pad and just tops it off the charge there. This is one of the power bricks that I have. This is an Anchor, and this is the first one I had from last summer. It works awesome. I bought another one, a smaller one, and it actually works well too. And I find myself using the smaller one more than I use that one. But I always like to top this off as well. I also have a Kindle, so I do a lot of reading on the Kindle as well. I've got a lot of books, a lot of ebooks loaded on there. So I'll, you know, this time of the year, trying to kill some time, I'll open it up and do a little bit of reading, or I'll do some audio books off the cell phone. So before I decided to make the move to Alaska, I knew that I was going to be off-grid. That was the entire plan, the entire goal. And I come from a background and a lifestyle that was very, very electronic dependent. I had everything. I mean, I had 5-bedroom house. I had, you know, the biggest TVs. I had every electronic gizmo and gadget you could have.
I had a generator only because power occasionally would go out where I lived, so that I could run everything. I had freezers, I had everything else. But I knew that I was going to need some kind of entertainment to keep me going during the winter, because let's be obvious, there's only so much you can do as far as getting outside until eventually it just becomes miserable. And especially if you're not out there if you don't have a plan to do something outside, and you're just getting out to be out, it can get very monotonous and very miserable. So I downloaded a whole bunch of movies, and I have a bunch of movies and television series all loaded up on DVDs. Now, they will work. I have a portable DVD player that plugs into my laptop, and they will work. But one of the cool things was I have a good enough internet connection via my cell phone, and I don't get charged for it unless I'm using data for upload on a hotspot. I have unlimited data to stream. So I could really watch just about anything I want to watch on here. I have Amazon Prime. And I can stream any movie off of Amazon Prime. And because of the cell phone program that I have, or the cell phone plan that I have, I also have Disney and I have Hulu. And so, if I'm bored and I want to watch something, to entertain myself, I just turn it on and fire up the Wi-Fi speaker and I sit here and watch it. Usually I watch a movie or a bit of a movie every night before dinner or while I'm eating dinner. And then occasionally I'll find a TV series that looks interesting, and I'll watch an episode or two, and if I like it, I'll start watching that. And I'll usually do it one day a week. Like I'll say, okay, Ted Lasso is on Monday nights, before bed. So I will, even though I have the entire first season and second season of Ted Lasso, I will only watch one episode a week, so that way I have something to kind of look forward to going down the road. You have to play a lot of little mental games like that with yourself, just to keep yourself entertained. YouTube also keeps me very entertained. I find myself, I don't watch as much YouTube during the spring, the summer, and the fall because I'm too busy out doing stuff. I watch quite a bit more of it during the winter, so I have a lot of catching up to do during the winter. My channels that I really enjoy watching, as far as the big channels go: Simple Living Alaska, awesome people. My Self-Reliance with Sean James, just fantastic. I just get mesmerized watching what that guy can do. And then smaller channels that have really helped me out with some of the stuff that I'm doing: Hickorycroft Farms, or Hickorycroft Homestead. I'll have to check and see. What they've helped me with on chickens alone is just phenomenal. The Max, they do a lot of homesteading as well, so I watch a lot of homesteader channels. My buddy Sean over at North Shore Preparedness, I watch a lot of his videos. I watch all of his videos, and I try and stay up on those, but I go to his lives every time he's live, generally speaking, because I like the conversation and the camaraderie. So I live by myself. I live in Alaska. I live off-grid. I live in a trailer. I go to work every single day. I am not in any way, shape, or form antisocial. I'm not trying to stay away from everybody and everything in society. And it just goes to show that if you're willing to give up a few of the easy conveniences, you can have an incredible life. I'm loving every minute of this. It's just beautiful. I'm going to go outside and take a look at the tri-tip. It's been on for just under an hour right now, and we're going to go see what it looks like. I should take a minute right now to thank one of my viewers and friends, and she's been on some adventures with me. The trip to Homer, the tide pool trip down there, low tide in Homer, was actually her idea, and she had a friend of hers come up with her when she flew up from Washington, and so the three of us went and did that and just had a blast. Anyway, Susan, I want to thank you very much for this, because Susan saw me trying to split those logs on a small round, and she had a big round, so she came down this weekend and freaking dropped off the round with me. I'm going to take that out of the truck, so now I got something to split it with. Let's take a look over here. And like I said, the temperature is 20 degrees right now, but that barbecue's spicy warm. Oh, look at that. That's starting to get where it needs to be. A nice little smoke on it. Charcoal's doing fine. I probably won't have to add any more to it. It's just beautiful today too, folks. Look at this, huh? Look at that sky. Is that incredible or what? Oh, that right there is just beyond beautiful. I'm gonna take a picture of that and I'm gonna post that on the community tab tomorrow. But it's gorgeous. Oh. Good morning. Man, it's a tad bit chilly today. These last couple of days have been colder than normal, even for Alaska. Temperatures right now as I'm pulling out of the driveway is 8 degrees above zero, and it'll get colder than that. I might hit zero on the drive into town today. Holy smokes. Not ready for this. I'm never ready for this. One of the fun things about this time of year is the oops, I left liquid in my vehicle. This was what was left of my coffee this morning, and it's frozen solid because even at noon the temperature's only risen to 17 degrees Fahrenheit. Crazy. It's kind of fun. It's not fun when you leave something in here that can actually explode when it freezes, and actually I went through the truck and made sure I didn't do that this time. This doorknob has been an issue since I first moved here. The problem is that as the rain drips off, it gets onto here, or as the snow melts and starts to drip down, it gets onto here, and it freezes in here and it locks this up. So I'm going to put a cover over it so that I can not have to thaw it out when I come home. And the main thing is just to deflect that water from dripping off and hitting the lock down here, and then season this whole thing up so it hits here now and it'll either run here or it'll run off to here, but either way it leaves the doorknob free, and I hopefully won't have to fight that. You can see the ice that all built up on this cord, and that's basically because it was hitting the doorknob and then running down until it froze up. So as I said before, I like to hang blankets up over everything to seal it off. And this morning when I was driving to work, it was 4 below zero. And for those curious, the chickens are fine. They were out playing in the yard when I got home today. So I hang a big blanket over the door here to stop anything from coming in on the sides of the door and the bottom of the door, because I lose a lot of heat out of there. I also hang one over this big window here. Same reason, because the windows are not insulated. You're going to lose a whole bunch of heat out of there. I've got one hung over, and you can't really see it here. I've got one hung over this window here as well, blocking that off. That's the biggest window. And then where I sit over here on the couch, I've got one hung over there as well. I've got them upstairs too, but I never actually took those down during the summer. So the only window I don't have covered up is the kitchen window. And it's just because I want to let some ambient light in here if I can. On warmer days, I will go ahead and grab the bottom of this and flip it up and tuck it into itself up here, just so I can have some fresh light coming in. And it's what, 5:20 right now, and it's dark outside, I think. It's already freezing to the wall, or it's getting dark out here anyway. Got a big snowstorm coming in tonight, Wednesday. So it's Wednesday now. We've got a big snowstorm coming in tonight, Thursday, and then part of Friday. Looking at anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of snow. Out here, it's always a little different. So we could get much more than the 8 inches, or we could get much less than the 4 inches. No way to tell. We'll just have to wait and see what happens weather-wise. But yeah, so that's how I winterize everything. Right now, I've got a kettle going on the stove, and my cooking stove in here is propane. It runs off the bottles here on the trailer. But I've got a kettle going on the stove. Gonna make myself some spice cider. Kick back and watch a little bit of. I'm watching the 5 Armies from the Hobbit series of movies right now. On the cell phone, listening to it on the stereo.
Fall is over. Winter has returned again. I had a lot of stuff I wanted to get done this year that I just didn't seem to be able to get moving. But next year, oh next year, do I have some serious plans. In the meantime, I'm going to enjoy Alaska in the winter and all of the adventure and beauty that brings. I'm Sean in Alaska. Thanks for joining me.